the New York Roadrunners Running Center, just south of Central Park in Midtown, New York City. Yes, Central Park. Central Park is the mecca of outdoor running in New York City. But if you go a few miles north, up to Washington Heights, you have the mecca of indoor running, which is the New Balance Indoor Track and Field Center, once again in Washington Heights, just up north from Central Park. And today, we're at the press conference leading up to the Millrose Games. And the Millrose Games are the most prestigious indoor track and field event in the USA. So now, let's go to the press conference and also talk to some of these elite athletes.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the New York Roadrunners Run Hub. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the chairman of the Armory Foundation, Mr. Mike Frankfurt. Michael.
Thank you. Good morning. 111 years ago, we had the first Millrose Games. I remember it well. 7 years ago, Norb Sanders said the Millrose Games should be at the Armory. And that's how it happened. What's missing today, of course, is Norb, but he'll always be with us. I want to welcome you all here today. The Millrose Games is the most prestigious, oldest indoor track meet in the world. Tomorrow we'll see it flourish again with America's greatest track and field athletes. They love coming to the Armory. We love having them here. The Armory is a place where 150,000 children run track and field every year. And that's continued now for 25 years. So something good has happened since Norb had a big idea. It's the house that Norb built. I'm happy to introduce the two of you, all of you, to our two wonderful co-presidents who are now running the show magnificently, Rita Finkel and Jonathan Schindel.
Thank you, Mike. We are delighted to return to the New York Roadrunners Run Center for the New York Roadrunner Millrose Games press conference for the second year in a row. Sincere thanks to the New York Roadrunners, Michael Caparasso, Peter Chacha, and their very impressive staff. Most of you, as Mike said, know that we would not be here today, and unlikely there would be no Millrose Games without the unique vision and persistence of the Armory's founder, Dr. Norbert Sander. Dr. Sander and Mike Frankfurt rejuvenated the Millrose Games when they brought them to the Armory in 2012, and together with the New York Roadrunners, returned it to the most prestigious indoor track meet in the world. Sadly, this will be our first Millrose Games without Dr. Sander, and each day we are reminded of his brilliance while we continue his important work at the Armory for the youth we serve on the track and off the track. Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome. We would like to thank USA Track and Field for their terrific support of the NYRR Millrose Games and for the sport of track and field. I want to thank our chairman, Mike Frankfurt, who truly was Norbert Sander's partner in rejuvenating the Armory in the early 1990s. I want to thank our other generous supporters, such as Bill Rudin, who's here in the crowd today. Thank you. And around you are many of the terrific Armory staff that helped do all the work to put the NYRR Millrose Games together. I also want to point out that the world's most exceptional athletes would not be here today and tomorrow were it not for the tremendous leadership of NYRR Millrose Games Meet Director Ray Flynn. Ray, thank you. And to you, our athletes, I want to thank you for bringing your wonderful talents to the Armory, the home of the fastest track in the world, and to show you our great New York track and field fans. Thank you. Finally, I would like to thank and introduce our fantastic partners, New York Roadrunners President and CEO Michael Capriasso, and New York Roadrunners President, Events, and TCS New York City Marathon Race Director Peter Chacha. Thank you.
Do this, it's a little easier probably, right? Stay up there. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the New York Road Run Center. We're so excited to have you here. We are privileged to serve as the title partner for the NYRR Millrose Games, and what an amazing event it's been over the years. And I was fortunate to see it for a number of years now. I remember sitting at Madison Square Garden with George Hirsch watching it a number of years ago and being taken through meet by meet and what happens. And his expertise and his thinking that went into the whole thing really gave me an interesting picture of it, and I really enjoyed it a lot and have watched it every year since and delighted to be a part of it. We are incredibly excited to be a part of this. I must say, it's with heavy heart we stand here thinking of Norbert. I ran the TCS New York City Marathon this year and dedicated that run to Norb Sanders. I wrote his name on my bib. So as Norbert would want, we are here to talk a lot, too, about the future generation of runners. And as you know, New York Roadrunners in the community every day serving kids around New York City so that they can be the next ones who are sitting here in these chairs. And we are really excited about our Rising New York Roadrunners program, which serves over 260,000 kids in this city and nationwide. And we have a few of them here today that we're gonna bring up to help celebrate this. Is Chris with us? Where's Chris? Christopher. Come on up, Christopher. Come on up. Christopher is from Sunset Park Prep in Brooklyn, and he's going to be running in the 800 meters final tomorrow. And then is Sion here? Where's Sion? Come on up, Sion. She is from Wagner, Robert F. Wagner here in Manhattan, and she will be running tomorrow as well. They are in our Rising New York Roadrunners free program here, and they'll be running up at the Armory tomorrow, and we're so excited to have them as part of this. So let's give them a big round of applause, and thank you, everyone.
Good morning. Happy Millrose. We could say that 111 times, one for each year. Yeah, we're very excited to have representing the next generation of runners here, Sion and Christopher. Let's give you a little background on them. Zion, yes. Thank you, thank you. It's a very, very pretty name, thank you. So Zion here is the 5th athlete from our school to qualify in the 4-year history of its indoor running program. She also qualified to run the junior high school mile at the New Balance Indoor Nationals in March. Let's give her a hand. So Christopher is the son of Mexican immigrants. He only started running in the 6th grade, clocking a 10:33 in his first mile. 2 years and 35 races later, he now runs a 5:57 mile and earned, last night, New York Roadrunners Youth Male Runner of the Year Award at our New York Roadrunners Club Night. And tomorrow, this is the great part, tomorrow his story will be shared with the country as a feature in the NBC's live broadcast of the New York Roadrunner Millrose Games. We are thrilled to partner with USA Track and Field and NBC Sports to have the New York Roadrunner Millrose Games showcased on NBC's main network from 4 to 6 p.m. tomorrow night. The broadcast will conclude with the New York Roadrunner Wanna Make a Mile, the meet's signature event. And New York Roadrunner recruits the field every year, and we will have 11 Olympians racing this year, including 2 who are up here with us right now. 2-time Olympic medalist Nick Willis, who will race for his first title in 6 attempts, and 2016 Olympian Kate Grace to lead the women's field. Let's give them a hand. So it really is going to be a great day for the runners, our pros, the youth, and especially for all the fans. So again, welcome to Millrose Week.
Now we have the fun part as we chat with these wonderful athletes. Okay, I'm going to start with Aries Merritt. You can handle the pressure, can't you, Aries? Aries, 60-meter hurdles. You're not racing against him. Does that make you sleep better at night?
Actually, I'm kind of upset that I'm not racing him when he.
That's what I like to hear.
I prefer to race Omar because he's a great competitor and he's always going to get out very strongly. This is a 60 hurdles and you have to, push the pace early, and that's something that he does well. And he told me walking over here he wasn't running the 60 hurdles, so I was like, what? But yeah, it's going to be a great race regardless.
Everyone knows the history of what you've gone through with the kidney and so forth. So how are you feeling these days?
I'm feeling really good. My health is at 100%, and I haven't felt this great in, 4 years.
Wow.
So that's nothing but a blessing, and I'm just excited and happy to be back running at the Armory after so many years.
Okay, clear we've got a little technical issue. We'll try and get that sorted out for you, Aries. Aries, I'm always wondering about athletes such as you. You've achieved all the great heights. But if you weren't an athlete, what would you be? What would you do with your life?
Well, if I wasn't an athlete, I'd definitely be a coach. Hello?
Try Asafas.
Yeah, it's definitely working. He has the working mic. But yeah, if I wasn't an athlete, I'd definitely be a coach because I feel like I have a lot to give back and I have a lot of experience at a high level, and I would love to share my experience with other athletes who aspire to do the same thing.
And the two youngsters that came up are not hurdlers at the moment. You never know, do you? What advice would you give to them, given what you've gone through in your career?
I would tell them to stay focused and keep your eyes on the prize. You're not going to always win every race, and you're not going to always be number one. There's a lot of ups and downs in this sport, but if you just stay focused and keep on course, eventually you'll get to the top.
What did you say there?
I said words.
It's going to be one of those mornings, I can tell. Yeah, how's the family?
The family is great. The kids are at a dog house, a pet house. So,
good.
Yeah.
I'm coming to you in a minute. I'm going to go to Emma next. Okay? Emma, world champion. Do you still enjoy the sound of being introduced as the world champion in the steeplechase?
Yes. That's not an intro I ever pictured for myself, so it is still very sweet. But, I primarily do the steeplechase, and that's definitely my best event. And so it feels a little off to be introduced that way when I'm not running a steeplechase. Tomorrow I'm running 3,000 meters, but not jumping over anything. So
you could always go in the hurdles with.
Yeah, I would. That wouldn't be pretty, but
okay.
Maybe Aries could coach me if he's interested in coaching. He could coach me in the hurdles. Yeah, but the World Championship introduction is always sweet.
Where do you put the medal? Under your pillow?
It's on an IKEA bookcase in my living room.
Oh, have you got to deal with IKEA? Not yet.
Not yet. No. Yeah, it sits there.
So. You can tell me, I won't talk to anyone else about any of your fellow competitors, but are you in good shape?
I think so.
Sub 850?
That's the plan. That's the goal. That's what I told Ray I'm trying to do, so better deliver. But me and my training partner, Aisha Lear, I just spent 6 weeks, and she was with me for 4 of those weeks up at like 8 to 9,000 feet training in Colorado. And everything went well. The training was, perfect, and we have no excuses for why we shouldn't be able to run well.
When did you come down from altitude?
We flew in yesterday.
Because there's always mixed feelings about when to come down from altitude. Some say 10 days, some say the day before. You're opting for the day before?
Yeah, we, going to the college at University of Colorado, we always just kind of went to sea level to race based on our class schedule and based on when the whole team needed to travel. So I had, I've for the last 8 or 9 years been just kind of doing it based on what works for my schedule and not thinking too much about the physiology, but it's worked so far. So yeah, we flew in yesterday from Crested Butte to Denver to New York.
Oof, that's quite a journey, isn't it? the one workout your coach gives you that you absolutely hate to do? Of course, it's your husband, so, I mean, but when he looks at you and says, I want you to do this, this, and this, and you go, oh, dear. What is that workout?
Usually, the workout that I get most nervous for, but if I crush it, I know I'm ready, is K repeats over barriers, right at about, goal steeple pace. And so I'll do about 4 sets of those in the recovery, depending on what elevation we're training in. That changes a bit, but that's usually a workout that if I usually have a little bit of trouble sleeping the night before, but if I do well in that workout, I know I'm ready to race well.
And how do you cope with this situation of being married to your coach? Where does the overlap come? If you have a bad day, is he nurturing with you, or what about when if he gets in your face and says, Emma, I want you to go a bit harder? How do you react to that?
Joe is a pretty even keel guy. He doesn't get really emotional, and so that helps. But it definitely helps having training partners like Aisha Lear and Kayla Edwards, who, when all 3 of us are together, that's clearly practice. And
so you outnumber him then?
Yeah, we can bully him. No, in those moments, it's clearly practice and coach and athlete, not husband and wife. And then when practice is over, we still obviously are talking about running and track and everything, but it's not as big of a challenge, I think, because we have a team of people that make the lines pretty clear.
Okay. I'm going to Tori now. Tori. From Mississippi. We were sitting down talking a few minutes ago about food and everything else but running. But Tori, also with you, world 100-meter champion, you have 2 Olympic medals in your resume. You still love the sport, though. You love to run, right?
Of course I do. I love to run. I still feel like I have a lot of huge goals that I still want to accomplish.
Okay, tell us about them. What do you want to do? Don't be shy.
I mean, I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. I mean, long as I continue to improve every single year, I'd be content. So far, right now, my major goal for this year is to try to get one of those diamonds,
Diamonds?
One of those Diamond League trophies. Yeah. So that's my major goal for the year.
Like he's got in his ear?
Yeah, one of those
okay.
diamonds that Omar has.
Okay. If you weren't an athlete, what would you be, Tori? What would you do with your life?
I would probably be a psychologist.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Yeah. So I'm like so interested in like studying the brain and everything like that. So I would probably be a psychologist.
So when you're getting ready for a race and you're in that sort of like the green room with all the other athletes, do you look at them in that sort of psychology way and go try and sort of think about them and put them aside? How do you handle that?
I guess I just try to to me, I feel like I know all of us are nervous. We're all going through the same emotions when we're on the line, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like for me, I just try to bury those emotions and those nerves and try to ignore it because I know that we're all going through the same exact thing.
So do you think about something completely away from running at moments like that, or do you?
Not exactly. When I'm in the moment, I just try to, not even think about it. I feel like I've come here unprepared. I worked hard, so I'm in the moment. I'm just trying to, when I'm in the moment, I'm just trying to keep calm. I'm trying to keep relaxed, my old coach always say loosey-goosey. So, and that's a figure of speech. It's just trying to say, stay loose.
Uh-huh. Coming to New York, is this the first time at the Armory for you?
No, this is not my first time.
Okay.
I've competed here in 2014, so it's been about 4 years now. So I'm so excited to be back.
What did you do then? What did you run?
So the last time I competed here at Millrose, I ran the 60 meters.
Right.
And I will be doing the 60 meters again tomorrow.
Where did you place that time?
I took second, unfortunately.
Uh-huh.
It was a close second. But tomorrow, the race is going to be real interesting. I'm running up against Muriel. She's a great 60-meter runner. But to me, I'm just coming here to continue to work on my start. Everyone who knows Tory Boyd knows that's my weakness, and that's why I'm here. You know.
Well, don't tell anybody that. Never admit to that.
The world knows it, so
They do? Okay.
so I'm just continuing to come here and to continue to work on my start.
Okay, so you've got two young admirers here. Look, clearly. You're in the fastest kids in the world, aren't you? Yeah? Yeah? Come on up.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. Tell us your name.
Amelia. Landon.
Okay. Are you excited about all this? What do you think of all these people? They're great athletes. Does it make you a bit nervous, or do you get excited at this?
Excited.
And which one would you like to have a selfie taken with?
I have no idea.
What about you? Who would you like to have your selfie taken with?
I don't know either.
What
advice would you give them?
I'd say they're pretty young, so I'd say, grow up, enjoy the enjoy the process, be kids, and just love what you do.
All right. We're thrilled to have you with us. And it's a lovely arena. You've run there before, though, haven't you?
Yes.
And you've run there before?
No.
Oh, first timer. Okay. So will you give him some good advice? What advice would you give him? Take your time.
I have no idea about that either.
You don't want to give him any help, do you?
No.
No. Okay. We wish them both well. Terrific. Well done. Ray Flynn and I go back quite a number of years. And in putting these events together, Ray always tells me, Ian, I want to put on compelling races. It's great to have races where people chase world records on their own in isolation, but what the sport thrives on is compelling races. And Ray, that's his philosophy. And with these two gentlemen, Asafa Powell and Omar McLeod, this could be one of those races that we look forward to. Don't we, Omar?
I think so, I guess.
Now, you guys friends? You're from Jamaica.
Yeah, we're friends. We're pretty cool when we see each other.
Oh, that was shady. That was carefully put. You should go into political office with that answer. Omar, so you've switched up from the hurdles this year to avoid Aries, clearly. Just kidding. And you're going to the 60-meter dash. Yes. And clearly you're looking to develop your career and not become known as a one-trick pony, for want of a better word. You're the only man, to my knowledge, that's run sub-13 for the hurdles and sub-10 seconds for the 100 meters. So coming to the 60 meters, this is exciting for you.
Hello, everybody.
He's a bit shy, just bear that in mind.
Yes, yeah, definitely. This year is a little bit of an experiment year. It's an off year, so I definitely want to branch off and see where my talent lies in regards to sprinting. So I'm really excited about tomorrow and, racing this man beside me.
I think there's a vacancy at the 4x100 meter leg for Jamaica. You looking for that? The anchor leg.
The anchor? No, put me in the start. But, yeah, we have a lot of guys that will, fill that mantle.
Okay. You're a quick starter in the hurdles. Are you quicker than Tory getting out of the blocks?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
And Asafa's pretty quick out of the blocks.
Yes, he's a monster out of the blocks, actually.
I mean, 97 times going sub 10 seconds in the 100 meters, that's quite an achievement. Oh, my goodness. How are you going to beat him? What do you have to do to beat him? Don't tell him. Tell me.
I mean, like I said, his start is great, so that will have to be my key my key point, just to at least try to get out and stay with him and just execute my race to the best of my ability.
And has the training gone well for this?
Yeah, the training is going great. I'm in great shape. I'm learning a lot about the sprinting event. I didn't know it was that technical. I thought hurdles was technical, but sprinting is just as technical. There's a lot of things to learn: drive phase, transition, getting up on that transition. I was like, Coach, this is crazy. I literally thought you just, go in the blocks and just run. But that's not the case. There's a lot to learn. So I'm really excited about growth in this event.
That's terrific, terrific. Asafa, welcome to New York. Now, you won this Millrose Games in, 2005, I believe?
Was it that long ago?
Yeah. Yeah, 2005. I was looking at my notes in the middle of the night last night.
Yeah, I think
and,
it was yeah.
So if you were to win, that would be a 13-year gap between winning. And the only, and I'm sure some historian in this room will come back to me and say, Ian, what about this? But Mary Decker-Slaner had a 12-year gap between winning and in 1995, if my memory serves me right. So you would become that person with the biggest gap.
Again, has it been that long? Jeez, 13 years. Well, you
still enjoy the sport?
Yes, I still enjoy it, and hopefully I can, win tomorrow. When you asked me before if I was going to win, I was like, yeah. And then you asked me, what do you think about Omar? I was like, he's going to win, but then I thought he was going to run the hurdles. so I changed my mind. I changed my mind about that. But it's going to be a great race. Looking forward to compete against Omar. I mean, he tried before in the 100 meters, and
Ray, are they in adjacent lanes? They're in adjacent lanes as well. This should be fun. What is the secret to all this longevity that you've been able to compete for so long at the top, Asafa?
Well, it's mostly talent. You have to be talented, and just stay focused in the sport. A lot of athletes, they come on, they get overexcited and try to do too much, and shorten their career in the sport. But I started a bit late in my career as well, at 18. So
wow.
I think that kind of helped me a bit.
Okay, and when you ultimately retire, what will you do with the rest of your life? Any plans?
I don't think I want to.
You don't want to retire, do you?
I don't want to be in track.
No?
But, I love cars, so, I might be doing something with cars, but I'll still be helping with the sport as well, because, I love the sport, so I don't want to just get out of the sport and just forget about it.
Okay, well, we're going to wish you all well. It's tomorrow, isn't it? Oh, my goodness, time flies. Suddenly it's upon us, tomorrow. Tori, Aries, Asafa, Omar, and Emma Coven. Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kate, I'm going to start with you first. Kate Grace in the New York Roadrunners Want to Make a Mile. Not against Nick, obviously. You've got your own race. You were second last year, Kate. This year?
I know. Actually, and I ran it, my first time running it, I was third. So third, second, this could be the one.
This could be the one. Mm-hmm. How's the workouts going?
I was nervous you were going to ask that. No, they're going well. So I joined Bowerman Track Club in October. I moved to Portland, and we have been in Colorado doing altitude training. We had to copy Emma because she's up there, so I've been like dying in Colorado. And yeah, it's been tough. It's been definitely a transition. It's good. It's why I joined the team. It's like I want to push myself. But yeah, they've been going better now. The first few months were difficult.
Uh-huh. When did you come down? Yesterday as well, like Emma did?
Yeah.
Okay. And why did you decide to come down yesterday as opposed to 10 days ago, or?
Just that's what everyone. Or I've done altitude before and raced pretty well off of it. And yeah, I think Jerry definitely likes people to be up there basically until race time. They're up there before major championships. So
Yeah.
it's also good to try. I mean, yeah, it's a good time to try it out. But I want to say last year, I've done similar timing for past races.
Hardest workout you do?
Hardest workout. Literally everything is hard right now. It's crazy. I mean, it's so good. It's exciting when you think I've been training now at a high level for 4 or 5 years, and to be like hit with challenges and be running with training partners who are pushing me every single day I'm extremely grateful. But yeah, a lot of them have been really hard. And so Shalane Flanagan she like kind of is like the matriarch of the group and started the group. And when I joined, obviously she won the New York Marathon like a month after I joined, which was the best thing ever, because literally all I had to tell anyone was that, oh yeah, I'm on Shalane's team. And then it was like, I don't know, they understood.
You're not in the beer commercial, though?
No, not
No.
yet.
Okay.
But she, there was a few like fartleks that with her, there was like all the long stuff for me is tough, but necessary. So I want to say that there was like, they did an hour-long fartlek that I tried to hang on for 45 minutes of. But yeah.
Are you going to still go with the 8, or are you going to focus on 1,500 and mile in the future?
Well, tomorrow I'm running the mile.
Yes.
Hopefully I don't stop at the 8.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, it's interesting. We actually were at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs this past week, and I was talking, they have so many good resources there, and I was talking, they have a sports psych there, just about that question, because I get that question, and I'm definitely still comfortable in the 8, right, like more comfortable in the 8, but that's why I love the mile and the 15, is because it is a challenge for me. There's still, I do feel like, yeah, it's not, I don't feel as certain in my racing tactics, and again, that's why I think it's more interesting, and yes, so I like the 15 and the mile.
Interesting, isn't it? Let's go to Vashti next. Vashti, good morning. Is this your first time at the Armory? I was trying to research that.
Good morning, everybody, and yes, it's my first time at the Armory.
And what have you heard about the Armory?
That it gets packed, and it's pretty loud, and it's just a great meet. It's a great track to come to and compete at.
Okay. Now, at 18, you're already an Olympian.
I'm 20.
You were 18 when you were an Olympian,
Oh,
though?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're now 20. And you've already got a World Indoor Championship in your resume. Where do you see your future?
I see my future just progressing, because I know that I'm going to work for it to progress, and I just have high hopes for myself.
Mm-hmm. And one of your chief competitors is Ineke McPherson. Are you friends?
Yeah, I like her.
Okay.
She's cool.
She's cool. Okay. Do you ever indulge in sort of not like the guys do, but trash talk in any which way with fellow competitors? I can't imagine you do.
No, not really. When I go into my competition, I kind of just distance myself from everybody in the event.
Uh-huh.
You know, keep it in my head.
Your father's in the audience here. That's Randall Cunningham. Who's he supporting this weekend in the that other game?
We're all, everybody in
You're not a Patriots fan?
No, we're all supporting the Eagles.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Are they going to win, Randall? They are. Okay. What is it about the high jump that you like? Why did you turn to the high jump as opposed to another event?
Well, I was actually the best out of all the events I was doing the hurdles and the long jump. High jump was my strongest event. You know, not really the fastest one. So
you could talk to Tori.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's pretty fast. But I like high jump because, I don't know, there's not really a feeling like going over the bar and just being up there for a quick second. You know, I've never really experienced anything like that, so I like it a lot.
And winning the World Indoor Championship at such a young age, So exciting.
Yeah, that was very exciting for me. It was very unreal.
Uh-huh. How did you celebrate? Dad take you somewhere nice afterwards?
Actually, we just went home, but I turned pro after that, so that was my celebration.
Okay, very nice.
Thank you.
I'm going to go now to the two ladies here, Katarina and Sandy. Just like last year, we have them sitting side by side. Katarina, Olympic champion, world champion. Why are you still doing this?
I don't know. You know, there's more. I mean, I have a bronze at Indoor World Championships, so I want to make that a gold.
Okay.
Then I'll have the whole collection of gold. And then you can ask me again that question after that. No, I think at this point in my career, I have achieved everything I ever dreamt of, really. And I almost feel like I'm still here because I love pole vaulting and I love competing, but I feel a little bit like I'm now pole vaulting for a greater purpose, like to inspire young kids, especially coming from a small country like Greece, you know, inspire young kids. They can see that it doesn't matter what your background is, what your race is, where you're coming from, but you can achieve anything you dream and work for.
And you're at Stanford as well.
Yeah, that was
NCAA champion there.
A good decision, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're Americanized.
Oh yeah, I'm coming up to a decade here, so.
Wow. Would you consider moving back to Greece at some point?
We've thought about it a lot. It's a little different. I think my husband, who is American, would like it more than I would, I think. But we do get a great balance right now. We spend about 6 months of the year there during the outdoor season, the European circuit, basically. So I get enough of that. I don't miss it as much as I did earlier on. It's a good balance, I think.
Okay. How is Sandy going to beat you?
I told you yesterday, but we can't say it out loud. It was confidential.
Let's go to Sandy. Sandy, how are you going to beat Katarina and win your first Millrose title?
Well, I think what's awesome about us is we really are neck and neck a lot.
Yes.
And so really it comes down to me learning how to make things on first attempts. Like, she's really good at that, whereas it always takes me a couple more. And she's extremely consistent, but...
this is called buttering up, Katarina.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway, you can miss a couple more tomorrow. It's okay. But no, I think this is so great for the sport, and we're competitors. We're very tough. That's why we're both Olympic medalists. But at the same time, when we're out there, it's kind of a... Pole vault is such an individual event, and we all have our own ways of handling things. And so in order for me to win, I don't necessarily say in order for me to beat Kat, but in order to win anything, you just have to focus on your own jumps, like executing your own vaults or your race or whatever, and focus on yourself, because the minute you let yourself focus on the competition is the minute you start to lose it. So focus on my own vaults, executing each jump down the runway, and hopefully that'll come down to fewer missed attempts and more makes and higher bars.
Silver medal in Rio, silver in London. Is this going to be the time then, tomorrow?
Yeah, I guess I'm on a bit of a silver streak. And
you could see Omar. He likes gold.
Yes, and I miss Omar training at Arkansas with us, because he would always sing at the track, and it just always uplifted my spirit. If you hear him off in the corner like, ah, and my coach is yelling at me, I'm like, pay attention to Omar singing. Lifts my spirits up. No, but yeah, I think that the key will be just focusing on my performance and execution of every single trip down the runway, and hopefully those golds will start to come. I'm a very stubborn person, more stubborn than gravity, I like to say. So I think it'll come.
Stubborn, that's a good asset to have.
Yes.
You're also a singer. I understand you've performed the national anthem recently. We're always looking to you. You know, we could have a talent. We could invite her to come and try out, couldn't we, Rita?
Oh, goodness. Oh, man. I think that may have been a one-time thing for me. It was really cool. It was at the Pole Vault Summit, and that's basically a pole vault convention, because us pole vaulters are weird and we're kind of cultish and we have a convention. So I got the whole crowd to sing with me because when they asked me to sing, I was very nervous about it.
I call that cheating.
Yeah, I did kind of cheat a little bit. I was like, okay, everybody. And I had the lyrics printed, no shame. No brain farts, right? So I just want to stand up there. But it was a really cool moment because I got the whole crowd to sing with me. And all of these kids, you know, she said she's out there to inspire children. And so I wanted to tell these kids, like, look, I'm nervous right now. Will you sing with me? And show them that it's okay to be vulnerable and show them that it takes moments like this where you can conquer your fears. So I stood up and I sang in front of, I don't know, how many people were at the Pole Vault Summit? 3,000 or 4,000 people. But I got them to sing with me, and it was really awesome and definitely a proud American moment for me.
Can you sing, Katarina?
No.
No? Okay.
Sing with me, how's that?
No.
I think that's going to be one of the highlight events, John and Margot Katsimadidis' women's pole vault, and we look forward to it. I shall, definitely. Thank you. Nick Willis is coming next. Boy, they do harp on this, don't they? Is this the year that you're going to win, Nick? The Millrose Games, want to make a mile?
I'm fine with them harping on about it. I think I wrote a blog with that being the whole theme and narrative about it, but that's why I'm back here. I probably wouldn't have made the trip out with a 3-week-old child. Back home, my wife is left with 2 young boys at home, but no, this means a lot for me to try and finally win it in my 6th attempt. And you're getting ready for the Commonwealth Games as well, where you're doubling and going into the 5,000 as well. In training for the 5,000, has that given you extra strength? Should do. But do you feel stronger now by virtue of doing that extra mileage coming into this race? Yeah, I spent all of the autumn putting in a lot of long, slow miles, and I felt very sluggish, and I thought, gosh, this stuff isn't very fun at all. You just feel like sleeping all day. Sort of my version of marathon training, I suppose. And I was worried I'd be sacrificing some speed in terms of getting that endurance, but suddenly, about 3 weeks ago, it clicked, and I did a 400-meter time trial, the fastest I've ever done at this time of the year. So it's like, maybe I don't need to give up on the miles so soon. So we'll have to wait and see. It's still, every year is a learning experience. As a sufferer has been sort of paving the way for some of us as well. I'm 34 now, and everyone tells me you lose your speed as you age, but it hasn't happened yet. So, sorry? My sufferer's 25, so... he only started running when he was 18. I started when I was 4, so maybe I'm a bit older in running years. But yeah, it's a learning experience every year. But I love it. I enjoy going for a run every day, just like most people do it as a recreation. I just happen to be paid by Adidas to do it, so I'll do it as long as I can. It's good to be paid to do something you enjoy, isn't it? Yeah, you never work if you love what you're doing. And many of you won't realize this, but as a young man in New Zealand, he came to the Armory, was it 2001, and won the National Scholastic Indoor High School Mile Championship. And that was a day you remember not only for just winning, right, Nick? If my memory serves me right? Yeah, it was the end of a long season for me. I'd been racing since October in New Zealand through to March, which was the end of the Kiwi summer. And Alan Webb had broken 4 minutes for the mile in America in high school, so I thought, well, I got to try and do that as well if I've paid $2,000 to fly me all the way to America. So I went out sub-4 minute pace through the 400, 600, 800. I was like 201, 202, and then the wheels started falling off. But I had such a big lead, and back then I wasn't afraid of pain, and I am now. Finished the race, and I got my first and worst experience ever of that indoor track hack, where your whole body just is like gasping for moisture somehow. And I was dry heaving on the side of the track for about 90 minutes afterwards. And they were like, we're going to take you to the hospital. I'm like, no, I'm okay, trust me, this happens. It's been a long season. But now that I've got all this 5K training, you recover within about 5 minutes after a race. It's quite remarkable, the difference. Would you consider running a marathon down the road? Peter, where are you? Oh, there you are. I absolutely would. This fall of training, running 100, 105-mile weeks has like really opened my eyes that my body can handle that type of work. And that's on 6 days, so I know that if I add that 7th day, I can get up to the 120 mark, which seems to be the prerequisite for the marathon. I'm not trying to do a sales pitch, Peter, but I am secret.
I think he's got a bulging left pocket there. I think that's a checkbook there. You could.
But no, my body seems to suit running on the roads. I've done well on the Fifth Avenue Mile, the 5K here. It carries my slightly bigger frame a little bit better than these tight indoor banks. That's one of the reasons why this has been such a challenge for me to win the Millrose Games. But I enjoyed the challenge of whatever it is to keep me motivated.
Thank you, Nick. I'd like to acknowledge, is David Monty here? David? No, I don't think David, who works with Ray Flynn to put the races together. So thank you very much. Give them a round of applause. Feel free. Yeah. There are some other races. It's coming. Oh, don't worry. There are some other exciting races coming up this weekend. In fact, the whole meet is star-studded. I'd like to draw your attention to the 4x800 meter women's relay, where they're chasing the Russian world record. Krishna Williams, Raven Rogers, Charlene Lipsey, and R.J. Wilson are chasing that record. I'm sure they'll get the American record. What about the high school girls mile? Caitlin Toohey recently set that tremendous 5K record. But they're not going to hand it to them. I'm telling you, that's going to be a great race. The boys' mile will be good. Willis from Maryland, the high school team, will come and chase the 4x200 meter girls' national record. The races go on and on. It's going to be so exciting. So I look forward to seeing you all there. And one other note for you. And I was, let me see if I can find this for you. Many of you will join us afterwards, like Nick will. Nick and I will go to Coogan's afterwards, won't we? And I'm delighted to tell that he's going to indulge in the Nick Willis homemade apple cobbler. Designated in his name, there's the Bernie Lagat silky smooth chocolate cake, the Tim Hutchins New York style cheesy cheesecake. Oh, goodness. And you can complete that with a Ray Flynn wild Irish coffee. How about that? So it's going to be fun at Coogan's, as it always is, Nick, right? And Nick sings karaoke there, which is well worth a treat. Oh, Sandy, we better get you into that as well. You're in. I thought you might be.
I'm Kristal Hart, reporting from the New York Roadrunners here in New York City. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the Millrose Games.